Alrighty, so we've just gone and sold our second Wii. Sorry, it's quite bright. Feel like wearing my sunglasses in the car. Anyway, we just sold our second Wii, the one that didn't have an AV cable, and that was for $45 to a former student. Met at a shopping centre rather than having them know where I live, for obvious reasons. But yeah, so $45 for that one. I chucked in the SmackDown Wii game because at $10 I was not going to bother selling that, so just bundled it together. So that was the nunchuck, the Wiimote, power cable, sensor bar, Wii that's been tested, for 45. I got 65 for the other one, which was complete with Wii Sports and Boom Blocks. I just dropped the price $10, and then one of the people who had been thinking about it decided to come pick it up yesterday. So that's $110 on just the consoles. Then there was the $55 from the Guitar Hero guitar and game. So a $15 purchase gets converted into $165, and I still kept the Paper Mario and the new Super Mario Brothers for Wii, so I kept the good games from that as well. One other thing, I have just arranged with someone on Marketplace to pick up the remnants of a collection, or their collection. Really, all the titles are pretty terrible, but there is there's an Xbox original game, PGA Tour something, but importantly NBA Jam on the Xbox 360, $30 game, and they said free to a good home, so that's my home. I'm going to go drive there right now, so let's get going. Alright, as you might be able to see, there's a little sold sign on the house, and they're packing up boxes, so that was the reason why they were just giving them away. And so here we have it. As I said, not much value except for NBA Jam. We do have Gears of War, which is a good game to get. One of the key titles, I guess, of the 360 generation, showing what could be done with the new system's hardware. But otherwise, it's just a bunch of sport games for the most part, but that's okay. And obviously one original Xbox game. There we go. Alright, so this ad said $50 or offer, otherwise going in the bin. Maybe I should have offered lower, but I offered 20. I offered that based on a couple of games. So there's the NCAA Football 13, Chronicles of Riddick, and then Supremacy MMA down the bottom here. But we'll have a look at the condition. I looked at the first two games. The UFC game was in pretty bad shape. The football game was in decent shape, and then I just checked another one, and that was in decent shape as well. So I guess we'll see what the condition is, but for $20... Alright, keeping our eye on the pulse, you can see we've got another little collection here. This is mostly PSP games. There were 7 games that I was interested in. He was having 16 for 50. I offered him 30 for the 7, but he had some PC games as well. Terraria, Age of Empires Complete Edition, Age of Empires 3 Complete Edition, and Civ 5. The Age of Empires kind of pays for the extra $20 that I paid, should I want to ship that out. And there are games like the Crash Bandicoot game, Mind Over Matter, and the God of War series, among others, which have some value in the PSP games. So we did also find a Nintendo DS bundle, DSi bundle, and you'll see that shortly. But there was one reason for me looking at that. It was listed at $100, but there's Pokemon Black 2 in box, which goes for more than that as it is. So buy it all and then ship the rest, and then keep Black 2 is the plan. So alrighty, so ended up getting that DSi deal for the asking price, $100. Slightly more than I wanted to pay. She had some interest in the 3 games, and it was kind of going back and forth. The 3 games being Mario Kart, New Super Mario Brothers, and obviously Pokemon Black 2. She had some interest in getting those games separately, which I said I'd also be willing to buy those separately. I offered her $50 for it. She then pushed up to $65. This was after like many messages, and so I just basically called her on her shit. So I sent her this message, which I'll just share, and it seemed that triggered her to go, oh, I'm pissing people around and wasting their time, and she made it happen. The $100 original deal. Apparently I was the only one who offered $100 because like I was willing to buy the whole thing, but other people were only willing to buy those others, and they weren't willing to hit the 100 mark. So she just took what she could get. If she had waited or been patient, I'm certain that she would have been able to split them and make a bit more money, but it is what it is for her. But good result for me. So, just reaching across, by the way, there was a Toy Story 3 limited edition with box and everything, so that I saw I saw a listing for about $80. Not sure exactly what the pricing of it is with sold comps, but just quickly show you the important big hitters. So we have New Super Mario Brothers for DS. There's the thing. It's all tested. The DSi has some dodgy bumpers, but I'll just list that when I look to move it on myself. I'll just list that and mention that because I have a 3DS XL anyway. Yeah, so the advantage of the DSi is that there is a box with it, so it can have a nice boxed unit for the collection. So we'll think about it. But here we go. Black 2 manual case. Beautiful stuff. This on its own with case, 150. So absolute gem, and that was the only reason that I was even mucking around with the whole thing in the first place. So that, and then somewhere in there is sorry, just let me find. There are other like Lego Star Wars, Lego Batman, things that are not very expensive, but just show you the unit itself. Just crack it open. There it is, turns on, screen's in good nick. It's been factory reset as well, so that's nice, don't have to do anything. Beautiful. Something that I don't know where I put it in my own collection, personal collection, but Mario Kart DS. That's the other thing. Black 2 is actually the one that I didn't get. So I have every Pokemon like main series game from Blue. Like one of each generation at least. So I have Blue, I have Silver, I have Sapphire, I have Fire Red, I have Pearl, etc, etc. But I have White 2 because I bought Black first. So I went Black 1, White 2. So good to get the opposite version. I don't know whether I have the manual and whatnot for that, but here's the last one, Mario Kart DS. This was a heaps fun game, and you could play multiplayer even if you didn't have it, and you'd be like a little toad Koopa Trooper thingy. I think it was a toad. That was just a base car that you could play multiplayer with your mates, even if they didn't have the game. If they had the game, then they could have their character and their car as well. So that's the haul. Obviously it's late at night, you can see black in the background. I'm going to have some dinner, and this has been a big day of marketplace deals, so I'll show you a quick review at the end. So it's been raining all day, but just going to collect a Xbox 360. Apparently it runs like a rocket ship, but it runs, so maybe a good clean. So let's see. Hi Sally, good? Yep. Oh yeah.
It wasn't actually sitting in the rain until I put the picture up.
Yeah, that's alright.
Sorry. Good luck with it.
Thank you.
Last time I plugged it in, it was,
yeah,
like I said, sounded like a rocket ship, but
yeah.
I had
Looks like it needs a bit of a clean. Maybe that helps, or maybe it doesn't. Who knows? But I guess I'll find out.
Worth a break.
Maybe, but I guess I'll find out. You don't happen to have any games for it or anything?
That would be...
Looking at gift horse in the mouth, I know.
I reckon I do somewhere.
Yeah.
If I go through that cupboard, I'll let you know.
Right, no worries, thank you.
Have a good one.
See ya. There it is. It's even got a leaf on the... Not gonna lie, it did get a bit wet on my travel out, but right in here, there's some leaves and gunk, and it looks terrible. So what I was thinking, given it was free and that it was making rocket ship noises, give it a good old clean. I've just taken a bunch of her hair with me. This is lovely. But yeah, we'll see how it comes up. This is a project. Otherwise it could just be going in the bin. Okay, so here we are back at home, and we're just going to go through the purchases that we've done in the last couple of days. We did also happen to get a Xbox, but we're not going to clean or test that just yet. We're going to get to that. So, and that was free. So we're going to go through the value. The value that it was spent on all these items on the table was $210, $220, sorry. I'd done the calculation before. I just went and picked up the most recent little thing, which, okay, so I'll just start here. I was at the op shop. I saw this Slipknot Welcome to the Neighborhood. I know that sometimes like bands and horror can do well in DVDs. There were some listings and comps, but I didn't pay attention, and they were selling them as new, which were going for about $50. So there was one in France that sold for about $15, so not as good of a deal, but moving on. Okay, so most recent purchase was this. This was from a work friend. So Jimmy was selling some of his Pokemon games. He had Emerald, Fire Red, White, and Soul Silver, and this Mystery Dungeon. He did have a couple of them a bit underpriced, and so I sent him a message being like, hey, they're probably not quite cheap enough for me to buy just for collection's sake, because they would be double ups except for this Emerald. But things like Fire Red, he had $50, and genuine Fire Red should be north of 100. So I told him probably change his prices a little bit. I gave him some advice there. But he did allow me to purchase Emerald for $35. Obviously, that's way less than the price that they go for, but maybe because I knew him, and maybe because I was trying to help him get some more money on the others, he was okay doing it. But so Emerald, nice version. Never played Emerald because it was just Sapphire and Ruby. That's actually something in terms of my collection that I'm missing. I'm missing Platinum as well, because for the same reason I was like, well, I already have that game, kind of, even though they were slightly different, well, a change from the original version of that series, in this case Gen 3. So Emerald version, $35, would go for about $165, $200, somewhere in that range. But that's just going into the collection now. With the ruby that my brother gave me, I have all three from Gen 3. Unfortunately, no box. Then there was this mystery dungeon. Looks like he bought it for $6, $12 marked down to half price. Ultimately, we bought it for $10. And this mystery dungeon, Explorers Through Time or Of Time, is about a $50 game, so I was quite surprised by that. I had Mystery Dungeon Blue Rescue Team, I think, so I played one of the series, but I thought good to add to the collection, and for $10, why not? So that was that. Now, just go through the other DS purchase I had here. So we'll start at the DS, I guess. We have the DSi. It is in box, just opening it up for you now. So there's all of the manuals and paraphernalia, Mario Club member, health and safety precautions. There's even some screen protectors in here. So we have the DSi and the charger. This should go in the range of $80. And something that we'll probably bundle up and pop on eBay, given the reason why we bought it is right in front of us here. So at the back, I'll start least important to most important. So at the back, there's these miscellaneous games for DS. They're about $28 value, $25, whatever, but they're kind of, and this will be a similar story for a couple of spots. Those are like bulk games, there to help other deals happen, I think, is the way I'm going to treat it. So those games, Lego Batman, Lego Batman 2, Mutant Insects, Scribblenauts, and Star Wars The Clone Wars. So moving forwards, we have a few slightly more expensive games. We have this Lego Star Wars 3, which is about $13. Plants vs. Zombies, about $20. The Ben 10 Omniverse, didn't really find sold comps on it, but there was a listing for $25, so maybe $15, somewhere around there. Then we have over here the Toy Story limited edition bundle. It's basically just 3 books in there. I don't know whether it will add that much value, but having the limited edition box is obviously nice to have. Probably thinking about $15. If the limited edition books add lots of value, then it'll be different, but the game itself is that kind of $12 range. So here are the 3 that we were excited about, particularly Black 2. So Black 2, absolutely great game. The last of the 2D sprite Pokemon games, and something that fans really love. Obviously great to have the packaging with it. There is the manual, as you may have seen last time as well. So manual, game, original case. That by itself in the range $120 to $200. Then we've got Mario Kart DS and Super Mario Bros. New Super Mario Bros. For DS, and those are both $25 games. So our total on just those, not including Emerald and Mystery Dungeon, is $368 value-wise, so a good start. Now let's have a look over here, staying with the handheld perspective. So these here are the bulk PSP games. These are the ones I cared about. The bulk ones, we're looking somewhere in the roughly $10 each range. Some of them, like Harry Potter Goblet of Fire, is fair bit cheaper. So there's 8 games there, so maybe $40, just bank on 5 each. That's kind of just adding to the collection, or like helping convince someone to buy a console or something if we had a spare one. So this God of War, this is the one from this collection that we're looking to probably move on from. So this God of War Ghost of Sparta is around about a $25 or $30 game. All of the discs that I've had a look at from this collection were exceptional. They were really good condition, so clearly has looked after it well. Very happy about that. So this God of War, much more expensive than the other God of War, Chains of Olympus, even though this is the PSP Essentials orange box. Otherwise, we've got Spider-Man, Friend or Foe, Daxter, Jak and Daxter, Ratchet and Clank. All those are in like the $15 price range. Spider-Man can be a little bit more. And then Crash Mind Over Mutant, we're looking at $28 to $30. So not quite as big a value as other purchases, but there were games which I really want these games in my collection, because like if you think PS2, PSP, you think Ratchet and Clank, you think Jak and Daxter. Jak and Daxter wasn't a game that I played personally much, but Ratchet and Clank I played so much, but more on the PS2 than on the PSP. So I wanted those for the collection. With that same purchase, so that was a $55 purchase price. We did also get Age of Empires, Terraria, and Civ 5. These two games are $25 or $20 each, and the Age of Empires 3, I think I may well just sell that to recoup most of the price. So these two games here recoup, say, $40 of the $50, $55, and will be in the running. So that'll be great. This was the free Xbox 360 collection. As I mentioned, these games, apart from NBA Jam, not huge value. So they're more bulk games. There are other Gears of War games which are nice to have. The Infinity Disney thing, I don't think there's much value there. I think it's more to do with the little characters that go with it. And Game Traders. What a store. I miss Game Traders. It's not where I am. Anyway, got distracted. NBA Jam. The bad thing about this is look at the condition. So it's like mold and stuff, and on the disc itself it's got these marks. I have not cleaned this. I looked at it intentionally, saw, oh, that's not great. So that's current condition. So we'll need to test that one clearly. But there's that. And then to finish it off, so we have this stack at the back. Again, they're the bulk games. They're like $5 games. A couple of them are getting close to 10, but yeah, they're the cheap ones. And then over here are the better ones. Have a look, see which one you think is the most valuable. Comment below. If you picked NCAA football, you were close. NCAA football 14 is the last one, aside from the one that is coming out that they've already announced, but that was the last one in the franchise and was really sought after, but that still goes around the $50, $60 mark. Silent Hill Downpour though, Silent Hill franchise seems to do really well. There was a PS1 game that I could have bought, but I didn't want to lowball them a price, to be honest. So Silent Hill Downpour, that's like a $70 to $80 game. Otherwise you're looking in the kind of 20, so we've got Sonic Unleashed, Bloodstone, 007, Supremacy MMA, The Chronicles of Riddick, and Kane and Lynch. This is the cheapest of the lot. This is about 13 or 15, but the rest are somewhere in that $20 kind of price range. So you'll see the total result. Okay, so ultimately, based on this haul that we've got, assuming all of it works, we're somewhere in the range of paid $220 and then out for about $1,100. So that's pretty cool. Hope you've enjoyed this video of another part of a collection. Soon enough, I think we'll have to do a bit of a collection tour once I've got it all sorted and put out nicely. So till next time, see you later.